Hello, my name is Frank, and this is Really Frank News. Let's get to it. By this time, you have to be wondering, when in hell is the president going to start fighting back against the organized crime syndicate that is trying to remove him from office? Donald Trump was being investigated prior to his election by all 17 intelligence agencies, and they could find not one crime to charge him with. So, they go all out to discredit him in the eyes of the public. This did not work as well as they thought it would. So they came up with an ingenious plan. Blamed the Russians for getting him elected. Well, that didn't work either. No matter how much they tried, they could catch no Russians colluding with the president. So, they just came up with a different plan. Go after everyone in his inner circle and totally destroy their lives. Charge them with everything under the sun, and reduce their sentences if they can give up something on the president. Here is a list of the criminals that Mueller has caught so far, and so far none of their crimes has anything to do with Russian collusion, or anything that ties a crime to Donald Trump. What I do find interesting is the bail amounts that were handed out to these scoundrels. The highest was $10 million, and the lowest was $500,000. Apparently, terrorists know better to lie to the FBI, if you want to keep your bail set at a reasonable price. If you have ties to ISIS, and you are found in a desert compound, training children to shoot up schools with automatic weapons, just don't lie to the FBI, and your bail may only be $20,000. Of course you will have to refrain from alcohol and give up guns for a while. So as you can see, lying to the FBI is a serious crime. Well, maybe it depends on who you are.
Secretary Clinton said there was nothing marked classified on her emails either sent or received. Was that true?
That's not true. There were a small number of portion markings on, I think, 3 of the documents.
Secretary Clinton said, I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email. There is no classified material. Was that true?
There was classified material emailed.
Secretary Clinton said she used just one device. Was that true?
She used multiple devices during the 4 years of her term as Secretary of State.
Secretary Clinton said all work-related emails were returned to the State Department. Was that true?
No, we found work-related emails, thousands, that were not returned.
Secretary Clinton said neither she nor anyone else deleted work-related emails from her personal account. Was that true?
That's a harder one to answer. We found traces of work-related emails on devices or in Slack space, whether they were deleted or whether when a server was changed out something happened to them. There's no doubt that there were work-related emails that were removed electronically from the email system.
Secretary Clinton said her lawyers read every one of the emails and were overly inclusive. Did her lawyers read the email content individually?
No.
Well, in the interest of time, and because I have a plane to catch tomorrow afternoon, I'm not going to go through any more of the false statements, but I am going to ask you to put on your old hat. False exculpatory statements, they are used for what?
Well, either for a substantive prosecution or for evidence of intent in a criminal prosecution.
Exactly. Intent and consciousness of guilt, right?
So, the director of the FBI, at that time, said Hillary Clinton lied to the FBI. I guess if you are a Democrat it's okay. What about lying to Congress? Is that a crime? Well, let's see what CNN has to say about it. When they thought they caught Jared Kushner in a lie, they said it was a crime, even if not under oath. And they pointed out, you can face up to 5 years in prison. So far, besides Hillary Clinton, who else have we seen lying to Congress? Here is another.
Well, on Twitter, you may read former CIA head John Brennan spouting off about the political news of the day, attacking the president's dishonesty, he says. But it turns out Brennan himself is a liar. He's been caught lying, odd for a government official. Last year, for example, Brennan told Congress that the infamous Steele dossier had no influence at all on the intel community's claim that Russia interfered in the 2016 election. Here's a selection.
Do you know who commissioned the Steele dossier?
I don't.
Did the CIA rely on it?
No.
Why not?
Because we didn't. It wasn't part of the corpus of intelligence information that we had. It was not in any way used as a basis for the intelligence community assessment that was done.
Ooh, busted liar. By the way, Brennan, you should know this, is an NBC and MSNBC paid contributor now, needless to say. Two top former intel officials, though, dispute his claim, the one you just heard, that the dossier formed no part of the corpus of intelligence used by our government to spy on the Trump campaign.
So where is the jail time for Mr. Brennan, you might ask? Well, don't hold your breath. Don't hold it to see this guy get in any trouble either.
So what I wanted to see is if you could give me a yes or no answer to the question, does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly. There are cases where they could inadvertently, perhaps, collect, but not wittingly.
Broadcast to stick around because this will shock you. A bombshell report put out by Real Clear Investigations that says despite what James Comey said, the FBI failed to look at the vast majority of the emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop, which had thousands of Hillary Clinton's State Department emails on it. Joining me now to explain further is the author of that report, investigative journalist for RealClearInvestigations.com, Paul Sperry. Paul, thanks for being here. I'm fascinated this because actually the letter that went to Congress explaining this was a letter that came to me when I was the chairman of the Oversight Committee. So tell me what you found out now about the reality.
That's right. So James Comey told Congress that they had reviewed all of the Clinton emails, hundreds of thousands that were found on the Weiner laptop, but that was not true. They barely looked at any of them. Just 3,000 out of 700,000 were actually individually examined.
Wait. They looked at how many?
3,000 out of potentially relevant 700,000 emails were actually individually examined for classified information and incriminating evidence.
Well, I mean, it did shock us, right? It was days. They told us they're looking into this, and then days later, they somehow reviewed 700,000 documents. How many people actually do you have any idea how many people were actually working on this case and looking at these documents?
I was just going to mention that Peter Strzok, the disgraced agent who was in charge of this mid-year investigation of Clinton emails, he actually personally handpicked that 3,000 sample. And with two other investigators, they went through them all, supposedly, and pulled an all-nighter, ordered pizza, and said, nothing new here, case closed, once again.
These are just some of the people trying to unseat a duly elected president, using lies and deception in the process. This, my friends, is the very definition of the term treason. For the president to talk to a foreign leader is not treason. What these people are trying to do is treason, and we know, and they know, what the penalty is for treason.
Now, having said all this, why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?